time and joining the webinar today. So I wanted to talk a little bit about something I've spoken about in the past, and that's getting disciplined in our own business. I talked about this about a year ago, had a pretty good turnout, and I decided let's do it again just because we've got a lot of people that are really busy right now and just forgetting a lot of the small steps. Being consistent is probably the #1 thing that any of us could actually do inside of our own business, is always being consistent all in everything that we do. And before we get started, I just wanted everyone to know that all these videos that I've been recording for the last couple of months are actually up on YouTube on SHS coaching videos. I believe Lydia has shared them with people, but you can go on and there's 14 to 15 of these small webinars and videos, and I'm actually making more as a library, so you can go on at any time and watch these. So today I wanted to talk about the difference between discipline and regret. And we always talk about what do we want out of our business, and what do we want? Everybody wants something a little bit different. Some want to get to the point where they're hitting that break even. Some business owners want to increase their profit margins. They're making money but would like to make some more. Some of them would like to retain their staff a little bit longer, as we see that the economy is starting to pick up a little bit better, that it's harder to hold on to our staff. Some want to grow their core projects. Certain cores within their business are doing very well, but they want to grow them a little bit more. Some of them want to get to a point where they're replacing themselves, possibly having a general manager. Some of them want to have more time available. Everybody wants something different out of their business. For that reason, we're going to talk a little bit about the 20-60-20 rule. And this is a rule for business. Is we know that 20%, if you take 100 business owners all in the exact same business, you'll find that 20% of them do extremely well in their business. You have about 60% of them that are doing okay. They're about what they expected. And then you have about 20% that just aren't doing that well at all. And they're struggling. They don't know exactly what they want. And they jump from place to place. Every single day is a new adventure. They show up to work wondering, is the phone call going to ring? Is it not going to? And then they keep wondering, how much longer can I stick it out? That's normal in all businesses. Why is that? Some people have been in business a long time and they've never done very well. Usually the reason why they stay in business is because they started with lots of cash. And that's why they've stuck it out for so long. But they aren't changing anything that they're actually doing within their own business. And so getting back to the theme of today's webinar, discipline, we asked the question, and I've asked this a few times to different franchisees over the years, is, what is it to you? What does discipline mean? If you look up the textbook answer, it's just saying, hey, it's doing what's got to get done at the time that it has to get done. That's the hard part, is it's waiting till somebody actually tells you you've got to get it done. It's about always being congruent. How can we expect our staff to do things that we're not willing to do ourselves? Things have to get done. So ask yourself, do you allow yourself and your staff to get away with doing things improperly? Do we allow them to show up late? Do we allow them to come not in uniform? Do we allow them to not mark it perfectly? Do we allow people to answer the phone wrong every single time? Have we set rules in place but we're not following them? If we are, then we're not really doing ourselves a very good service at all. In fact, we're doing ourselves a disservice, 100%, if we're allowing everybody to get away with things, including ourselves. So discipline, where does discipline come from? Where did we learn discipline? Everybody learns it in a different place. Typically, when you're growing up, a child, that comes usually from a parent and or from a teacher, a coach, or someone that you're actually working with, grandparents, somebody around you, an aunt or an uncle, the people that actually took care of you. As you start getting older into your adolescence, it comes from teachers, more coaches, your peers. You get to a point when you're getting into teenage years that maybe your peers have more influence than the parents do, or maybe it appears that way. As adults, it comes from our bosses, maybe our spouses, Some of the mentors around us are college professors. Maybe it's a coach. Maybe it is our inner self. In most cases, it isn't. Most people are not that disciplined to do things on their own. They usually need somebody else to do it. I want to challenge you guys as I'm moving on is, who holds you guys accountable? Is there somebody that you look to all the time to hold yourself accountable? Is it your business partner? Is it your friend? Is it your husband? Is it your wife? Is it your boyfriend, your girlfriend? Who is that person that holds you accountable? If you don't have that person, try to find someone that you know that you can trust that will hold you accountable, not somebody that allows you to get away with things. If they allow you to get away with things, then you've got the wrong person. Find that person. Who is that person? Discipline. The bigger the reason, the easier it is to become disciplined. Some people wait till it's almost too late. And let me give you some examples here. Is why do we wait to become disciplined? Some people become disciplined in their business because, first of all, they're out of money. That's when they decide, okay, now I'm going to do those things that I wanted to do. And it comes out of, a lot of it's because they're scared. That's when they become disciplined. It's like, all right, I'm about to lose my house, or I'm about to shut down the business. Now I'm going to be a good business owner. That's when people become disciplined. Some people start working on their health about the time when they have the heart attack, or they go in for their physical and wondering, why do they have diabetes? That's when people all of a sudden start exercising a whole lot more. The other time is, when the divorce papers are served, that's when a lot of people become disciplined and they decide, I'm going to be a better partner. When somebody says, I want out of this relationship. That's when we just sometimes become better bosses, is when you finally start losing enough people. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's us that has to change. That's when discipline typically starts for most people, when they have a big reason to be disciplined, and usually it's at the tail end of those relationships, or at the tail end of their life, their unhealthy life, or they're out of money, like we said before. Discipline, the hard road is something different to everyone, and I've talked about this on more than one occasion. Is the law of perturbation always talked about. And if you ever want to look it up, quick story, and I've told this to a couple of you, is the law of perturbation won a Nobel Peace Prize during World War II. There was a German scientist. She was able to work on some of the prisoners that were held in prisoners' camp and put people in very difficult situations, made them do things like public speaking, talking in front of large groups and stuff, and just did a lot of experiments that made people feel very, very uncomfortable. And she won the Nobel Peace Prize for a very simple statement. After she had showed all these experiments, I think there were 35, 36 different experiments, she came to the conclusion that when people are put in tough situations, they tend to take the road of least resistance. Very simple. Very simple is, as soon as anyone put any sort of pressure on them, they would take that road of least resistance. So discipline, sorry, I keep having that thing pop up. Everyone has something that's hard for them. For some, it is marketing. They don't like to market. They would rather just have something on the website than actually go out and market. Some hate being congruent. They know that they're not doing it right, but they want everybody else to do it right. Some people do not like the daily planning. They do not like it. They just want the phone to ring. It doesn't happen that way. For some people, the hard road is following up. I've got a lead, or I have a referral. They don't want to make that next phone call. They don't like it. For some, it's the training. We just want to train somebody one time, and man, they're just adults. They ought to just be able to pick it up themselves. Most people are just like children. We have to teach our children over and over and over to clean. It's no different with employees. You've got to teach them a couple of times. If we teach them one time and they disappoint them, we think they're no good, where we haven't spent the proper time with them. Discipline is different. Everyone has something. For some, it's exercise. For some, it's the financials. They don't want to understand them, or maybe they know that it's not as good as they want to, and if you don't look at it, it'll just go away. You know, with the exercise, a lot of people don't want to go to the doctor because they don't want to hear that they're sick. Everyone's got to be disciplined, and the hard road is something different for everyone. I always teach my children is if you take the hard road now, it'll lead to easier roads from here on out. It's no different in business. Is you do the hardest thing. The things that we're not good at, those are the things that we ought to be doing first and foremost before we do anything else. I always teach them, they say, I don't want to go to 6 years of college after I graduate from high school. You know, when I show them what the people that go in 6 and 8 years, what they're earning compared to those that don't go to college or just get a 4-year, they said, but yeah, that is hard. It's like, exactly. If you pay now so that you have an easier life in the future. Discipline versus regret. In a church book I read once, it said the biggest difference between regret and discipline is that discipline gives rewards now and later, where regret gives instant gratification and pain later. Is you got what you want right this minute, but you're going to pay later. Is a lot of people, when I was in college, I was getting sick of it. You know, I've been there for, I was going on my 6th year at the university, and I saw a lot of my friends that didn't go to college, and it seemed like they were doing really well for themselves. But I see a lot of them now that have tapped out, you know, making a certain salary. The ones that actually went to college and spent those 4, 6, 8 years additional after high school are doing so much better now, where those guys got what they wanted. They got their new car. They got into their first house maybe a little quicker than I did. I didn't buy my first house till I was 30. Since then, we passed them up because we took the hard road. And so, fear. We as individual business owners, we're all afraid of something. We're afraid, a lot of them is a fear of failure. That's what drives a lot of people. Some people don't like changes. Things were going just fine. I don't want to change. Some business owners and individuals are afraid of success. Is what happens if I get to this level? I'm going to have to hire more people. You know, unfortunately, fear and discipline go hand in hand. Is people get disciplined because they're afraid of things. I'm driven by number one on there. I don't want to fail. That's what keeps me motivated. That's what actually gives me discipline. Fear of change, that never bothers me. Fear of success, that doesn't bother me. But the fear of failure is what actually drives myself to continue to get better and to continue to read and try to improve a little bit more each day. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I'm not perfect in a lot of things. But I'm always striving to get just a little bit better, and especially in the business world. And so whatever drives you, figure out whatever drives you. And as we're ending this today, again, I want to put out the challenges to figure out, what are you afraid of? What is it, the one thing that we're not good at, we're not disciplined at, and work on that, because typically that is what is going to make us better. If you've gotten to a certain place in your business where it just isn't going to work and you're afraid of marketing, then you're going to have to change. You're either going to have to make more money in other areas in order to hire somebody so that you can do better in marketing. As you're getting busier, and I'm looking at a lot of the numbers right now, most of you are extremely busy right now. Do not stop your marketing. Do not stop what actually got the phone ringing. I know some of it's just because of spring, but a lot of it's because some of you have been marketing over the winter. When we get busy, that's when we tend to stop doing those things. Do not do those. Learn the lesson that I've learned probably 6 or 7 times. I'm just not a very good student. Sometimes is when you are busy, that's when you absolutely do not stop that. Stop the things that get the phones ringing. See, stay disciplined in your marketing. Be congruent. Do your daily planning. Do your follow-up. Do the training that you need to. Learn the financials. If you stay disciplined and you stay consistent each one, you will pick up. You'll get exactly where you need to be in your business. So guys, I want to thank you guys for being on today. Is again, challenge yourself to find out where you're not disciplined. Those are the areas where we need more and more help in our business. So guys, thank you so much. And have a great week, and I'll talk to you all next week or in 2 weeks. Thank you.